Two Shot fans, and welcome to Welfare Talk. Are we ending this trucker convoy? I mean, is it getting close to the end? Is Justin Trudeau ever gonna emerge from hiding? Let's take a look at some things. I've learned some stuff recently. There's this girl named Shannon. She was talking about connections with Peter Downing, but I wasn't really familiar with Peter Downing. I'd heard it before, but I'm in BC, so we're not quite as religious about all these things like Peter Downing and his connection with Pat King. Now, I've only just learned, like, when you follow this convoy and you follow what they're about, the mandates, cross-border, right? Restrictions. What restrictions? What loss of freedom? We've seen this argument 1,000 times, and some of that's just stupid, okay? Forget about it. It's like you got vaccinated people, can't go into gyms and all this stuff. They stack up restrictions. And then, of course, then there's the COVID cases. I mentioned that in my song. The cases had been overwhelming for people who have been vaccinated. I got the stats, and it was like several thousand that were unvaccinated and 10,000 that were vaccinated. Downing, he was the guy that started the Wexit. I saw that and I was like, wait a minute, is that the We Charity? That thing with Trudeau? How many millions were there?
So, boy, do I have some information for you.
Boy, do I have some information
I've been digging a lot.
And I mean
Someone
put a link, actually.
I'm going to wait till a few people come on here because this is very important information for our group right now. And
so someone put a link on there because it was posted on some guy, Phil Primo. He had this really intense video. I wonder if I could get a clip of that here in a bit. And she was talking about this Gord Downing, Peter Downing. He was the founder of that Wexit guy. She was talking about how he used to be a cop, connection with Pat King, and then people are putting this video on about Pat King, saying that we gotta resort to guns. And you know it's kind of weird because I'm not a protester. I'm not out there with guns. I'm not in Alberta. I'm just a YouTuber, but I have my opinions. That's why I made those songs dressing up like Trudeau, looking like a freaking idiot, because I disagree with this whole thing. COVID.
Vaccines are safe and effective. The way we get through.
She's about.
I want everyone to hear this so they can start doing their own research.
She talks about digging.
Hopefully, prove me wrong.
I saw this link that someone said she got it from this, and I read it, and it was very similar to what she was saying. And they talked about people digging, and it was like she was reading off a lot of this.
I told you from the very beginning, from the first
very beginning,
time
I told you.
ever heard Pat King speak, I
Pat
had
King
a bad feeling. Okay? Now, when I have a bad feeling, if I can't pinpoint it, I'm going to look and I'm going to dig and I'm going to search.
Dig and search. There's how we're going to dig.
Why I have that feeling.
Crazy.
So, I've been asking my guides, I've been asking everybody to kind of help me figure out what this feeling was that I was having about this convoy, about Pat King, about just the whole way that this thing has been organized.
Okay, let's go to that link here. I don't even want to.
It was too well organized.
I remember watching this earlier, and I was like, she was like going on and on and on, and I was like, when the hell is she gonna get to the point? She's like, oh wait, I got some juicy stuff here. She builds it up 9 minutes. It's worse than a Nelk video. Okay, we've got the video still on. It's paused right now. We may never go back because I've got the stuff, so I can make it sound like I'm the guy that knows all the stuff. We're not reviewing other people's crap.
Derek Two Shot pretends to be smart by reading stuff straight from Google.
So we got Civilian Intelligence Network 3.0. It's sort of like those Sleeman's 2.0s, except it's more political, and it has 3 letters. That's quite the abbreviation. Peter Downing, Wexit, is George Soros. Seriously. Lest we forget, see, this was from 2019, right after we lost that election where Justin Trudeau, he became the premier for the second time, and then he did it again 2 years later. He's like, here's $610 million. It's like, what? He's evil. You're a monster. Oh, I'm much more than that. Guinea pigs, guinea pirates, guinea Trudeau! He's the rat. He's the rat. He's a true rat. He's like... That was frightening. Ugh. So George Soros Globalist of the Year Award, a council that is staffed with former Chrétien Harper United Nations enthusiasts. Do we got a clip of the United Nations? Order. Yes, the Atlantic Council is a den of vipers, and they have entrenched themselves in the Albertan battle cry for separation. Wexit is their poison. My poison is gin, Florida to Sevilla. Peter Downing, the figurehead of the Wexit movement, is not being upfront about his past. Peter Downing's criminal past. Yeah, let's see. The following original thing, blah, blah. Oh, he's a former RCMP officer. I didn't even really care about this. This is just the thing. I mean, I did. It's just that this ties into a bigger thing, right? Ukrainians. There, I just got to spoil it. Wait, what? Isn't there the thing with Ukrainian? There's a war. There's Vladimir Klitschko is enlisting in the army. Vladimir Klitschko.
And seeing my country is geopolitically struggling, so I'm right here. I can't stand still, and I won't.
We hope our diplomats, Ukrainian diplomats, give all knowledge to stop this aggression in a diplomatic way. If not, we have to prepare to take weapons in our hands and defend the country. We are strong. We're strong with our idea, with our vision.
But is this war really about, is this real? Is this COVID? Is this a fake war? Probably not, but it's complicated. It's very political. It's deep. RCMP commissioner pledges to streamline the force's disciplinary process. A former St. Albert officer, that's a town in Alberta, I think, has been off the job with pay for nearly 2 years. Criminal conviction. Apparently threats or something like that. Uttering threats. Those must be some severe threats. Peter Downing's ties to Christian Heritage Party and neo-Nazi. Defended some bus driver that got fired apparently for having a problem with city's LGBT, whatever, on the bus, and he didn't want to have the rainbows on there. But in reality, there was apparently he put some Nazi signs on there. Oh boy, here we go again with the Nazis. Pajama party. These Heiswagen sein pajama party. What is also unusual about this story is not only the attempted cover-up of a racist act that the vast majority of Canadians would find offensive, but that Peter Downing wrote this letter to Calgary Mayor the very same day he started fundraising for himself in his riding of Edmonton Mill Woods. I don't even know what that is. And it's an area. An ethnically diverse riding that was being sought by Liberal MP Armjeet Sohi. Okay, yeah, and then all of a sudden, did this media exposure, both on MSM and social media, where thousands responded with this hate propaganda against it, helped to catapult Armjeet Sohi into a riding win for the Liberals. And then a few months before the 2019 federal election, Peter Downing made the news again when he clashed with nudist cyclist groups in Edmonton. You can't clash with them. Amount of support Wexit is getting now. I don't even know if Wexit is around anymore. Wexit is the separation group for Alberta, Western Canada, and part of BC too. They want to separate from Trudeau, be a landlocked country. Jesus. It's November 4th, 2019, a few days after he hosted a Wexit rally in Edmonton wearing a blue Make Alberta Great Again hat. Peter Downing filed paperwork with Elections Canada to certify Wexit Alberta is a federal party, kicking Newfoundlanders and Maritimers out of the oil patch. Make no mistake, this man is no Trump, but a fake anti-Trump. Oh, let's keep going. Does Peter Downing have connections to the CPC? Oh man, there's so much stuff here. It's a little complicated. Who's this George Soros guy? Let's get into that.
George Soros is a fat fucking alcoholic billionaire from Hungary.
Peter Downing, United Nations. Wexit movement is also seeking help from the United Nations. This is an odd alliance since many Wexiters are opposed to the United Nations Global Compact on Migration. What Downing is not telling Alberta, United Nations Convention adopted in 1982 states that a landlocked state enjoys freedom of transit through the territory of transit states by any means of transport. Okay. Who is funding Wexit? Well, it's Diane Francis. You're like, Diane Francis, of course! I knew it! Who is Diane Francis? I'm just learning too. Francis is an American-born propagandist who has been the editor of Canada's National Post magazine since the late 90s. National Post became a subsidiary of the US-owned Post Media during Prime Minister Stephen Harper's government. Anyway, yeah. Francis also sits on the board of the Atlantic Council. Of course, those guys. Well-known globalist outfit. Despite these obvious ties to globalism, the team at Wexit has absolutely no qualms about having her cheerlead and endorse their cause, whatever. The Atlantic Council is a Ukrainian-tied globalist organization known for interfering in the electoral process throughout the Americas and Europe. To give you an idea, it was the Atlantic Council which founded CrowdStrike. What does that sound like? It sounds like a bunch of Black Lives Matter people, and that goes without saying. The firm that was used to cover up the source of the DMC Clinton email leaks in 2016, after the 2016 presidential election, of course. In turn, blaming the Russian hackers. Yeah, you starting to see where this is going now? We got troops in Canada heading over there. It's not just 120 million. You know, I had some people saying that wasn't such a bad thing, helping out the Ukrainians, but I don't know, man. First of all, when we got our own problems with COVID, I mean, that goes without saying. Hospitals and ICU and all that crap. Then there's this, the tie here. The Atlantic Council, a US-based globalist swamp think tank, which was formed in 1961, which is behind the latest impeachment coup against Donald Trump. That's old news now, a couple years ago. Is an organization that brings together George Soros. There's the Clintons, leading defense contractors, and notorious media outlets like, you know, CNN and Reuters. They're all under the same umbrella. It's funded by and partners with Burisma, the Ukrainian energy company that paid Joe Biden's son Hunter. That's what they were talking about. That's what Trump was talking about in that video. Well, the debate. That's all, Hunter. George Soros is a major financier of the Atlantic Council, which has been behind the disinformation campaign manufacturing consent for escalations against Russia. Russia has listed the Atlantic Council and George Soros Open Society Foundation as a security threat. They're both banned from Russia. Well, they're set to be. Well, they're probably... Yes, my dear friends in Alberta, Wexit is nothing but a globalist propaganda machine aligned with George Soros. Wow, weird. Well, that's what they said here. The Atlantic Council recently congratulated George Soros. That's pretty crazy stuff. So these are connections that are tied into basically Peter Downing. That's a huge can of worms, like I'm learning as we go with this convoy. Remember, they came from BC too. You got a lot of people out in the East going, oh, they're all from Alberta. They're Alberta. That's like West Canada. It's like there's a place called BC too, you know. You know, we almost won a couple Stanley Cups. This is crazy stuff. Do we got any comments? Do we got comments, actually? Comments. Some are good and some are bad. You can't ask your mama or even your dad. Just send them to Derek to shot. He'll set you straight, he's got what it takes. He'll answer your comments while eating cornflakes. Comments. Just send them to Derek to shot. I'm quite amazed at how the supply chain media frenzy suddenly died with the actual blockade of the border. I'm not even hearing about it anymore. I was talking to a guy in Alberta like today. He didn't even know about this entire blockade of Alberta and Montana, like the US border blockaded by trucks. He didn't even know about that.
Like their message has been heard, and in a tremendous showing of good faith, they're reopening one lane each way to provide unimpeded access through the town of Coutts and across the border in both ways.
There are people that don't even know about all this stuff. This is huge. Like, there are trucks blocking an entire U.S. border. I just learned about it, but I mean, you know, I'm doing a lot of stuff here. Busy. Really small. It is clear that the media, whether they like to admit it to themselves or not, are complicit in the white supremacist agenda. Oh man, this stuff is so small. Because when the people complaining about the supply chain are the ones who actually blocking the supply chain, it all of a sudden stops being a problem. Since you apparently couldn't keep up, supply chain issues were a direct result of COVID, causing staff shortages all along the way. The only thing the Flu Trucks clan contributed to was inflation. The UCP, who was obviously complicit, were the ones to point at empty shelves. Oh boy, those shelves. This puts you in such an awkward spot. Like, what do you do in a situation like this? Sometimes I'm like, I just don't feel like thinking anymore. I just want to sit here and relax and watch like Seinfeld, which I was just doing. In fact, I took a break and ate some Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Aren't they actually one of our sponsors? Can we run a little clip here?
This episode of Welfare Talk is brought to you by Zuckerberg Toast Crunch. Every yummy bite fills you with reptilian goodness.
I'm dying. Help me.
How do we fix our mess with a media that is complicit? Rally around leftist communities and blah, 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 and learn how to build and find similar ones in Canada. Because the blockade people are the same ones lying and saying they were empty shelves. Now when they're responsible for it, empty shelves are okay. These are shots fired. Sorry, but what empty shelves? Not in the stores I go to. Despite all these truckers parked in Ottawa. The vaccinated truckers actually transporting products to stock the grocery sales are on the road working. The freedom fighters, they say, honking horns and holding Ottawa hostage. God, that must be just crazy there. disgruntled people with no power or responsibility and apparently no jobs. This picture here where they're like, better look, we are socially distanced to look like it's real. This is like in England, and it looks like Trudeau's there too. And 30 minutes later, they're all sitting there talking, probably puffing a joint. If any of what you claim is true, this guy's a liberal guy. If any of what you claim is true, and you still think you've lost your freedoms because of a vaccine mandate, something put in place temporarily to protect society, it's you who needs to wake up. Now back to the other side, the vaccines do nothing. I mean, it seems that way. You can still spread it and end up with COVID in a hospital. Why are these restrictions for some and not others? Once again, wake up. Yeah, I gotta say, some of that stuff makes a lot of sense. We've been through that a lot. So basically, there's Canadian geese honking. All they do is honk and shit all over the place. So we got a lot of haters out there today. That's what we're looking at. I hope it works out, and I hope Trudeau actually comes and talks to some people. This is never gonna happen. Like I said, he'll probably have some person that'll come out and be like, "Hello, I'm here to speak on behalf of Justin Trudeau. Now we're going to have to, oh, hold on a second. Oh, there's a hamster on my leg. Me. Oh, get off my leg, you stupid hamster. Why didn't the Chinese deal with you? Me. What? Me. You wanna see Justin Trudeau? Me. Oh, because Justin Trudeau is a rat. He's like you. Me. He's very dangerous. Don't talk to him. Anyway, subscribe and don't do drugs. Yeah. That's right.
The reason I'm coming on live right now is a couple of reasons. One is somebody submitted a video of this lady. I forget her name now. But I posted the video and I tagged a bunch of people and I'm catching a lot of shit for it. She basically goes on to talk about Peter Downing and Pat King. What she has to say is of interest. There were some attachments that were sent by somebody else that related to that video that was submitted. It's a worthy listen just to get your mind thinking and asking questions. Just because I post a video like that doesn't mean I endorse the video, especially if I don't say anything about what I share. I'm sharing it out because I think other people need to see it for a number of reasons. So why did I share this video that's attacking Pat King and Peter Downing? Well, number one, Peter Downing is on my naughty list. What she said about Pat King, I don't believe is true. I don't think Pat King is involved with Wexit. He may have been at one point.
Downing, Pat King. Guns. No, I've said so many times, I said it's crazy because school shootings did seem to be on the rise through the teens, you know what I mean, that last decade. Donald Trump, that one, there was a guy in Florida, I think, he was like, you know, I would have ran in there even if I didn't have a gun on me. I would have kicked the crap out of that guy. And I'm sure I speak for all these other heroic Floridian officers. Even if they didn't have a gun, they would have risked their life like the heroes that they are. I love Florida. A lot of good quality cocaine. Probably shouldn't have said that. We'll edit that part out later. Good quality cocaine. But the point is, there was South Park. I was watching that, actually. The new episode just happened. It was Pajama Day.
Pajama time. What time is it? Pajama time.
I didn't get it at first, but then I was like, oh, I get it. It was a COVID kind of thing. Because pajamas, you got to wear them to protect against COVID. If you don't wear your frickin' pajamas, buddy, it's time to go to jail. Get these Nazis out of here. That's that. I mean, it's only natural that someone's going to get pissed off and do that. The problem is that this guy's apparently the organizer, but then other people said he's not the organizer. And I don't know that stuff until I start watching these things and they tell me that, okay, you know, because I'm sitting here, when you watch my Trucker Convoy music video, which is very well done, actually, really, really nice professional music video. It's like, I got trucker footage at the beginning. I'm supporting the Trucker Convoy. I'm talking about how, you know, we need these guys to bring the food and they drive in trucks. Why are we making them get mandates? They're about as safe as you can get. They're like Santa Claus, you know? But I mainly focused on, rather than a defense against the truckers, more of an attack against Trudeau. And I brought up the same old stats that I normally did and compiled them into a relevant type of package for now. A package. I'm just stacked with chores. Now I got like a pubic hair in my mouth. Did you put that there? But now it's Wednesday. It's hump day. Pajama day, hump day. I don't know, I can do both at the same time. That's all, Hunter. There's a throwaway going on for obvious reasons. I should have a thing here so it's like a teleprompter. That's what they do, so they make it look like they're giving you direct eye contact. Where me, I'm just like, I'm over here, I'm over there, I'm never gonna get clean underwear. Pewter Downing's criminal past. I seriously need to do some laundry. I've been lounging around here like a methamphetamine addict. Seriously, research, how can you take a guy like me serious? I'm an idiot! Now, I'm not the one to follow this religiously. Not that I'm not backing the trucker convoy. I mean, I'm not really a news outlet, you know? I'm just a YouTuber that likes to have fun.
Before our enemies make attack against Ukraine, they have to think we are strong. It will be very painful price for everyone.